U.S. Air Force. It sounds like you all went through a early implementation phase in some of the air bases there. It looking like you're scaling up very nicely. What do you think it looks like in a couple of years? And I heard somebody talking about drones a little while ago. I don't know if that comes into play here, or what type of capabilities get unlocked with the Air Force once you start to implement these all across the world, I guess, in these bases.
Well, I mean, a lot of those capabilities already are in place. What it does is it enhances them. I mean, we already use drones. So what I'd really like to talk to is the hybrid world that we're about to move into. So one of the things that brought up private versus commercial. So for those truly unique pieces, yeah, we're going to look at private networks to solve, whether it's taking advantage of millimeter wave in a factory, or because we do have factories in the Air Force or in maintenance facilities or whatnot. But there's so much to be used and utilized in the commercial piece. So one of the things that we're realizing more and more is both that we're not as special as we think we are. There's a whole lot of things that we thought that were uniquely DoD that may not be. And then there's a lot of lessons learned we're seeing in the world today about what commercial technologies can bring to you that being in a purely private model doesn't make sense. So, and I'm referring to the Ukraine, and look how Starlink was able to get capability in place very quickly and then mitigate issues very quickly. Not something you could typically do when it's a DoD-owned capability. We are not nearly as agile. So hybrid in that way, but also hybrid from this perspective of 5G. And it's one of the things that Brian touched on. There's going to be places where it makes sense for millimeter wave, going to be places where it makes sense for mid-spectrum, a lot of different things. So really, we need to really, and I'm coming back to this, really define our requirements, understand the use cases, what we're trying to do, so we're applying the right capability to the right situation. And I want to reiterate that because so many of the cases, we have people in the field coming back saying, I need 5G. That's not the requirement. We need you to come to us and tell us, hey, what is it you need? Because it's really hard to defend that in the budget. And it's hard for our vendors out there to understand, what is it I'm trying to supply you when you're just saying, hey, I need something. And then the last thing I want to reiterate is I really appreciated John's comments about security, but I would say more broadly, today's castle and moat model has been proven ineffective. So everything he said is not just about 5G. It is irrespective of the connectivity model you have in any and all situations. We need to be moving that direction.